Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am back with 5 more random facts that you never need to know about me. If you are new to this series, I have a playlist down below. I started with fact number 1, and tonight we're doing 76 through 80. So if you want to go get caught up, you can go down to that playlist link and read the most unfascinating things that you can possibly imagine. We're trying to get to 100. I'm pretty sure I can do it. And then I'm going to try to think of a different series after that. Give me some ideas in the comments. I love it when I give you comment ideas. Okay, let's just get right to it. Why don't I have the paper closer to me? These are kind of, like, some of these are like naughty girl facts. Not that kind of naughty. But I was kind of a naughty kid. I was a follower, let's put it that way. I'm gonna just blame my friends. They did stuff and I did it too. It was never in my heart to be a bad kid, but I was a bad kid. Fact number 76. I don't know what made me think of this, but I got married in the 1st grade. I'm quite sure it was the 1st grade. I know it was at Emerson School. Realistically, it could have been K through 3rd, but I'm pretty sure it was 1st grade. And I did not even have a crush on a boy. I was only 6. We were outside at recess, and all of a sudden I just remember some kids coming with the boy, and they said we were getting married, and for some reason I didn't disagree. Once again, I just did as told. I do remember, and this sounds awful, because I'm actually going to give his name. I do remember thinking, this isn't the kind of boy I want to marry. I mean, even at 6, I knew I wasn't attracted to him. Does that sound weird? But you know what I mean. I mean, I can remember, like, very little, like, being attracted to boys on TV, certain things or whatever. That sounds weird. I think you know what I mean. He just wasn't my kind of boy. It was Glenn Picklesheimer. So if anybody from Sanford is watching, I don't know why they picked Glenn Picklesheimer for me. Maybe he liked me. See, I don't know. I just know that they came with him. He didn't seem to be, like, struggling. So maybe he said he liked me. And they said, we're going to get you guys hooked up. So I had to hold his hand, and there was a little ceremony. There was no kiss, but we were married. And I don't remember ever talking to him much after that. We must have either been in the same class, certainly in the same school. And he wasn't even someone that I kept up with all through school. I don't even remember if he was, like, in high school with me or if he had moved away, but it was Glenn Picklesheimer. So Glenn Picklesheimer, if you are hearing about this, and if you have any memory of this, please let me know. Was it you who wanted to marry me, or were we fixed up? That was kind of a fun little memory. Okay, here's where I start to get naughty. Number 77. When I was 10 or 11 years old, the reason I can, like, remember things like that is because I can remember who I was with at the time, and I know, like, what years of my life I had certain friends. Very first time I stole something from a store. And what do you think I stole? I stole a bottle of glue. Wouldn't you know a crafter like me would steal glue? I remember feeling very guilty. I remember exactly where the store is, but I can't remember what it was called at that time. Anybody in Sanford, it was like across from the library on Elm Street. There was a little store there on Elm Street, and it had different names over the years. Like, I think one time it was called A&P. Sandy will probably remember. She's got a good memory for these things. Anyway, I was with a friend. This time I will not mention who. It was not Sandy. Let's not think it was Sandy. And I followed along, and she said, we can go to that store and we can take something. And so we went in the store, and I don't remember what I did with it, but I walked out with glue, and I was like I felt very guilty that I stole glue, but boy, I was so happy to have that glue. I don't remember what she stole. Oh. Number 78. Why do I tell you these things? Now this, I had to be in my 20s. I was a grown-up, even though I did drink as a kid. I once bought a 24-bottle case of beer, and that night, when I was done drinking, there was only 2 left, and it was only me. Now, I think 22 beers in one drinking binge is a lot, don't you? How did I survive that? And I remember this is even worse, and that's why I was drinking so much. I was talking to one of my brothers in Houston. Now, when I drank, I was a marathon phone person. As much as I hate the phones, I could drink, I could talk. I had to have somebody to talk to. I was drinking alone, and this is way before cell phones, so that was a long-distance call. I used to have long-distance calls that, would cost me $30, $40, $50, $60. I remember having to give my father $60 once for a phone call. This is when I was a young mother who needed to spend her money in much better ways, let alone phone calls. I certainly didn't need to be buying booze, but that's another whole story. You guys know I was a big, long-time heavy drinker. So while I was on the phone, I drank 22 beers. Oh, number 79. I remember this friend too. It's the same one who got me to steal out of that store. So we're in the same time period. And actually, this was a little bit older. It was the 70s, early 70s. I was with her staying at a relative's of hers at the beach, like Wells Beach or right around there. But we were staying in a camper. And we were trusted to do that? What, were they crazy? When it just started to get a little bit dark, it was still daylight, but the sun was starting to go down. We stripped naked and went streaking. And it was not on the beach, but it was in the grassy parts. And we ran for quite a while, just laughing and giggling and thinking this was the funniest thing in the world. We went somewhere and sat down with no pants on. Oh. It had to be grassy and sandy and all that. But I remember we were hidden sitting, so we must have been in tall grass. I don't know. I probably was drunk. And then we ran back. I know for sure if that friend, who I haven't been friends with for many years, if she's watching this, I know she'll remember that. Now we're going right to nice and normal. Number 80. As a child, I loved to play with marbles, but I didn't play marbles when you had to do the game. I never understood that game. Never knew how to do it, never knew what it meant. I just loved marbles. And we had a big jar of very old marbles. Many of them were clay. And we had a lot of, just regular marbles. And I just felt like that was a jar of gold. I just loved those marbles. I used to like to just pour them out into containers and look at them. But then I used to love to make contraptions with tubes of either toilet paper rolls or gift wrapping rolls. My mother used to save all those things for me, and I would save them and and put them away like they were a precious toy, because they were to me. So I had a lot of them, and I used to start from upstairs, and I would make these, just put these things together, and all one big tube that would come down the stairs and around into the hallway, and I would just, end up with a bucket or something, and I would just sit there upstairs and drop marbles one at a time and let them roll all the way down. That's weird. But one thing I can say is I absolutely appreciated the toys that I had, and it was stuff like that. And I never felt like I didn't have incredible things. I felt like a very rich child because I had things like marbles and a jar of buttons. I just loved that. Okay. This is probably one of my strangest random facts videos yet, but I want to, I'm just trying to dig for things, so let me know if you've ever done any of the things that I did, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!